victory's been won. He's all I need. I don't need fortune. I don't need fame. I don't really care if anyone ever knows my name, because I know Jesus, and Jesus knows me, and that's all that matters, 'cause he is the master. He's my everything. He's all I need when trials come. He's all I need when there's nowhere to turn. When I'm in trouble or caught in a storm, he takes care of me. He's all I need when that time will come, when I cross that river, when my life here is done, when I fought the battle, the victory's been won. He's all I need. He's all I need when trials come. He's all I need when there's nowhere to turn. When I'm in trouble or caught in a storm, he takes care of me. He's all I need when that time will come, when I cross that river, when my life here is done, when I fought the battle, the victory's been won. He's all I need. When I fought the battle, the victory's been won. He's all I need. He's all I need. It's funny how we do it, the plans for our lives. We plan for success and pass the pain right by, but it just doesn't work that way. God has a different plan. He works in ways we cannot see, beyond the scope of man. When the journey takes a detour unexpectedly, and I try to accept and understand what it all means, when I'm pressed to show the world what I really believe, I will trust you, Lord. When my heart begins to faint because I see my life so fray, and my soul cries out, oh Lord, how long can I keep this at bay? In the fiercest part of battle, securely in his care, and surrender sure is sweet. When the journey takes a detour unexpectedly, and I try to accept and understand what it all means, when I'm pressed to show the world what I really believe, I will trust you, Lord. When my heart begins to faint because I see my life so frayed, and my soul cries out, oh Lord, how long can I keep this at bay? In the fiercest part of battle, when my feet don't want to stay, I will trust you, Lord, with my life. In the fiercest part of battle, when my feet don't want to stay, I will trust you, Lord, with my life, with my life, with my life.
I'm not really sure that she prayed about it. Yeah. Well, so she did reach out to me, I think January, and you went ahead and gave me the theme then. And I didn't, I think, that much about it at the time. January was good. 2020, January was really good. My birthday, I turned 40, so it was really good. And then February was good. I think we got snow maybe in February, so that was really good. I love snow. And then March came. So, yeah, and then joy in the journey. And I'm thinking, So, since January, I have been pondering joy in the journey. And it has been a struggle for me. I mean, I would have notes in my phone where I would add things. And I mean, struggle. So, I came to a couple of conclusions. A, the Bible does say it's joy unspeakable. So, I'm thinking maybe it's not for me to speak on. And then I think maybe I've not had it. Ugh. So, a little bit about me. I'm Rikki Beth Poindexter. And you go, Rikki? Yes. My dad's name was Rikki, so my parents named me after him. And I'll tell a little bit more about that. My husband does pastor Lighthouse Baptist Church in Seagrove. And we've been there 15 years. He started the church. And the Lord has given us 5 children. 3 are here, 2 boys at home. And the Lord's been good to me. I can trust him with my whole life. I love that. I hadn't heard that song in a long time. And but I will say this. There I don't know how many are here today. But there are enough sad stories on these pews that we could start and we could cry. Because your story is probably way sadder than mine. And I'm not going to talk about my sad story. I think maybe this was for me. And I had texted in the little thread of the women that are going to be here. I said, maybe the struggle that I had will come out. Maybe this was for me. 2018 for me personally was a terrible year. 2019 personally for me was a terrible year. I have a heart for pastors' wives. Mainly because it's a lonely place. And I'm not saying that for pity. Please don't. I didn't bring Kleenex. I don't even cry. I turned 40 and I cry. I'm not saying that for pity at all. Please do not. I'm thankful to be in the ministry. My ministry is my husband. I brought some ladies with me. My ministry is not to them. My ministry is to my husband. So this is not for pity, but this is because my heart is for pastors' wives. I have a prayer book. This is my 2020 prayer book, and I have a section for pastors' wives. And if Miss Libby is your pastor's wife, then I'm looking for a name. Thank you. I didn't bring them. Monday. I pray for Miss Libby on Monday. And on Monday, I'm looking. I pray for her. One thing I pray on Monday for her, but then on Tuesday, she's given me a few things that she asked me in January. Because I asked her, I said, there's some things I can pray for you over. And she gave me a few. And the ladies' meeting on 9/19 is at the top. My heart is for pastors' wives. I love them because it is. It's a lonely place. But then the Lord gives you ladies in your church that help. And so I'm thankful for that because y'all can see I have a few. It's really strange. I have a really old friend with me. Old because we've been friends since before I had children. So that's old, an old friend. And then I have a new friend who's just come to our church. So it's very strange how the Lord worked that out. So I struggled. I have struggled. I'm going to be honest. I have struggled. And I'm going to do what I do believe the Lord gave me. And he gave me, it's really strange how he gave me this verse. He just gave me the verse a few weeks ago. Because, y'all know, 450 times some reference to joy, rejoice, rejoicing, joyful. Over 450 times in our Bible, there is a reference to the word joy. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot of verses. And I couldn't get settled. I couldn't get my mind wrapped around. How many of you have taught a Sunday school lesson or spoken at a ladies' meeting and the thought is there, the theme is there, but for whatever reason, you can't get your thoughts wrapped around a verse? My pastor is an expository preacher, which means he reads his text and he preaches the text. Okay, he is not, by the most part, a topical preacher. Meaning, okay, I'm going to preach on joy and now he's going to give you 57 verses. Okay, so my pastor preaches expositorily. So I think like that. I could not find a verse and get settled on just that verse. Maybe that was part of the struggle, but maybe part of the struggle is with 2018 being not a good year, 2019 being not a good year, and then here we come to this craziness. Maybe it's that I've not had joy. I don't know, but I want to pray and I want to get started on my first session, which is going to have a different title. So let's pray and we'll get started. Lord, I love you, Lord. I'm so very thankful to be here. Lord, thank you because I do believe this was for me, this lesson in particular. Lord, thank you for the songs, Lord, already how they have reminded me, just made me remember, Lord, that I can trust you, Lord, even right now in this moment. Lord, this next few minutes, Lord, I can trust you, Lord. Your word will not return void. I'm thankful for your word, Lord. Thankful, Lord, for the time here. Thankful for the ladies that will speak, the ladies that will sing. Lord, I just pray today everything would glorify and uplift you, Lord, and may we refocus, Lord, even today. Our focus, mine has, Lord, at times been off, and I pray you help me to refocus, to have joy, to realize I can keep it, and I pray to help my heart. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so what is joy? Of course, it's not happiness. Happiness is determined on our happenings. What's going on will give us happiness. So, whatever, a new dress gives me happiness. But then either the dress wears out, or I get it dirty, or it gets too small. Very rarely does it get too big. But then it's all gone. That's gone. And that is not joy. So I did a little digging to try to determine what joy is. Get a few definitions. So I came up with this. It's gladness of heart. It wells up from within. We know it's a fruit of the Spirit. Fruit of the Spirit is joy. It's a constant delight in God, settled in God, His will, and good for us, no matter the circumstances. 2020 has been a bad year for a lot of people. A lot of things have changed. Church has been crazy. You can't teach Sunday school. You can't go to church. You can't have food. You can't have food. Now we're going to all have to sit together with our group. Just the craziness. That's happiness. John Phillips said, joy is like a rainbow shining above our tears. And here again, I even making eye contact with a few people. I know their stories and terrible things have happened in their life, yet they're sitting here smiling. Even some people that I brought with me, lots of things going on in their life, yet I've seen them have some joy in that terrible time. So I define joy. Now here's a question for you. Do you have it now? Do you sitting right here today have joy? If you do, that's wonderful. Can you keep joy? I think we can. And I think maybe that for me is where this lesson came from. Can you keep it? I think you can. Realize it's not based on our circumstances. I think it's something we have to choose. we're coming up the road today. Okay, I came from Ashboro. How many of y'all are familiar with Ashboro? So I'm thinking I'm coming 64. Well, we get in the car, I put the address in, and I just am following. I'm like, why is it taking me this way? And then how many of you do this? Did I put it in right? What if it's taking me to another town? So then I'm starting to sweat. I'm like, oh my word. Okay, well, it says we're going to get there at 9:30, so I've got a few minutes to spare. So then I go, joy in the journey. All right, Lord, I got it. Okay, okay. Do not think you're going to teach a lesson on joy in the journey or my last lesson and not have some things come up and test you. Yes, oh yes, there'll be some that will never be told, but they have been tested. All right, so can you have it or do you have it? Can you keep it? I think you can. But then you said joy in the journey. Okay, well, that's not a short trip, right? If I think journey, I think long trip. All right, so I'm 40. Good chances my life's over half gone. If I get 70, that means I've got 30 years left. So it's a long trip. No matter where you are, we don't know when it will end for us. So we've got to realize that this isn't a sprint. It's not a mile. It's a long trip. Joy in the journey. All right. Okay. So keep that in mind. I think we do have some misconceptions about our life being maybe a piece of cake. Bed of roses. I think we want that, but that's not guaranteed to us because Job 14:1 says, man that is born of a woman is a few days. And does anybody else know what the rest of that says? Full of trouble. Full of trouble. Man that is born of a woman is a few days and full of trouble. Paul wrote the most about joy. Now, did Paul have a great life? I don't want to sign up for it. I don't want to be in prison, beaten, shipwrecked, beaten. He's beaten, in jail. He wrote the most about joy. And then even our Savior's life. What is recorded is very painful. He lived a very painful life on earth. So here's what the Lord gave me. Go to 2 Corinthians. All right, that's where I'm going to take my thought from, but it's going to be topical, okay? So if you like expository speaking, you might struggle a little bit. And I'm not going to be 45 minutes because sometimes people get speaking, you're like, oh my word, would they just be quiet? I don't want you to be like that, okay? Because I do have to do this again. And some of y'all are going to leave. I've already heard some of y'all are staying all day. So, all right. 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 23. Now, Paul is writing this second letter to the church at Corinth, and he's explaining to them in chapter 1 why he's not coming back to see them right now. There's some stuff going on in the church. He's not coming back to address it just yet. If you go on to read in chapter 2, and we won't do that, possibly because it might cause a little issue at the moment, he's holding off. So in verse 23, it says, moreover, I call God for a record upon my soul, that to spare you I came not as yet unto Corinth. Not for that we have dominion over your faith, but are helpers of your joy, for by faith you stand. So today I want to give you 4 helpers of joy. 4 things that I believe we can find in our Bible that will help us have joy, not for right now, not for just today, not for just tomorrow, but joy in the journey. Okay, number 1, and that's our faith. Okay, faith first. Trusted the Lord for salvation. There may be somebody sitting in here this morning that's never been saved. And I will tell you, will never have joy apart from being saved. Never. Absolutely not. I lived 19 years before I got saved. No joy, no peace, nothing. Terrible circumstances in my life. Terrible. No faith, no peace, no joy. Psalms 35:9 says, and my soul shall be joyful in the Lord. It shall rejoice in his salvation. So the first thing that will help our joy is that we've put our faith and trust in Jesus Christ. Then, if you have seasons after that of doubt, and I did, I went through a season when I was probably about 22 where I doubted my salvation. You will have no joy if you don't get your salvation nailed down. And there are ways we can know. There are evidences that we can know we've been saved. Number 1, that you're a new creature. I don't care if you were 6 when you got saved, if you were 66. You became new, a new person. You have the Holy Spirit there that deals with you and convicts you, chastens you, corrects you, says you did right. He's there. You love the brethren. Do you love God's people? And some are easier to love, and Some are a little harder to love. But do you, for the most part, love God's people? Do you love His Word? If you are doubting, you will not have joy. You will not have any peace. And I will tell you that Mark 4, the parable of the sower, that's where the Lord helped me the most from that passage to get my salvation nailed down. So, our helper of joy is our faith, okay? And then after you're saved, that faith is strengthened by what? I want a little interaction. What's it strengthened by? The easy times of life? No, the trials, the hard times. So our trials will strengthen our faith. That will help give us joy in the journey. Think back to some things that have been hard this year. Just think this year, okay? Let's don't even go back to, I told you 18 was not good for me. 19 was not good for me. 20, and I look and go, 20 has been a piece of cake for me. I mean, honestly, 2020 has not been that bad. But I'm like, I can handle this. Let's see what happens in November, but I can handle this. But you know what? It's because 18 was bad, and He brought me through. And 19 was bad, and He brought me through. 2020 has been bad, and He's bringing us through. He's bringing us through this. We are looking for 2021. Yes, we are. Oh, what can be worse? But we still have October, November, and December to get through. So I want to have joy. But here's where I want to get. This is my life verse, Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to His purpose. Did it say all things are good? Absolutely not. But they all do what? Work together. If you look back and you think, wow, 18 was a bad year, it was. But they've worked together for some other things. And 19 wasn't a great year. They've worked together for some good things. 2020's not been great. But we can find some good things about 2020. Those of us that were already homeschooling, we haven't had to scramble and, panic like some of the other ones are. I think about even how the Lord has, I think for our church, has we've maybe just shuffled up and made us more thankful for our church, for the assembling together, for the things maybe you took for granted that we're still not able to do. So that has worked together for us. That's good. So I want us to understand that in order for our joy to be helped, faith is one of the things that will help that. Now, so if faith will help our joy, what's the opposite of faith? I can't hear. Doubt. That's what I use. So if faith will help, then doubt will steal it. Doubt will rob it. Doubting that what's going on right now in your life, that God can't see you through, that's going to take your joy. Doubt can be a stealer or a robber of joy. Matthew 8:26 says, and He saith unto them, why are you so fearful, O ye of little faith? Then He arose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. And then I put in my notes one of my very favorite songs, the chorus, there's no need to doubt Him now. He'll make a way somehow. Safely, I'm safe today. I am safe, safely, 18, 19, 20, safely this far. Jesus has brought me. There's no need to doubt Him now. Now, this has been in my notes, and then I opened Facebook this morning and went to my memories, and I had posted this song a year ago today. A year ago, you can go look. It showed up in my. I even shared it. I didn't tell the story because I thought I'll tell the story today. Brother Stacy Piercy, do y'all know him? Does anybody know Brother Stacy Piercy sings and plays? He was in our church a year ago in May. He put our daughter on the spot. He plays the piano. He's a magnificent piano player. He told Juliana to go to the piano, and he was going to play a song. He was going to sing it. No practice or anything, and that's what he sang, and I recorded it. Then I didn't post it until September for today. There's no need to doubt Him now. There's no need to doubt Him now. All right, so faith's going to help your joy. Doubt's going to hinder it, okay? And then focus. And then, if you said focus already, then the girls, it was focus. I think focus might have been in the first song, that thought of focus. That's going to help our joy to focus. Philippians 4:4 says, rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I say rejoice. So what's our focus got to be on? Him. How many times my focus has been on the circumstance or the problem or even the good, because the good's not going to always last either. Focus on Him. That will help my joy. It's a command. Rejoice in the Lord. There's our word, rejoice That's a form of joy. Rejoice in him. Focus on him. Keep your eyes on Jesus. This takes concentration. If I said to you right now, all right, focus on that green plant over there in the corner, and y'all all turn, look, focus on the green plant. If I'm sitting about where y'all are on that last row, if I don't have my glasses on or my contacts in, I can't see that. So what am I going to do? I'm going to squint. I'm going to be squinting. It's going to cause crow's feet right here. Yeah. I'm going to be squinting because I'm trying to see it. I want to be like that, to see him, to focus on him, to rejoice in him. I want to be going, green plant. I'm watching the green plant. Y'all look at the green plant. Don't look at me while I'm talking. Look at the green plant, okay? All right, if you can't see, squint. Make your crow's feet. At 40, you get crow's feet. Well, 30, I got crow's feet. Look at that. Focus. Focus on that. Don't look at me. It takes concentration. You might have to squint. You might have to get your glasses out. You might have to get your glasses. You might need some help. You might need some help. Maybe you've gotten a little out of focus, a little off focus. Somebody's glasses were in a trailer for a couple of days till they got from Colorado to North Carolina. She couldn't wait on her glasses. Focusing on him all the time doesn't come naturally because we get distracted. We do. I get distracted. So it doesn't come naturally. It's going to take work. It's going to take self-control. And self-control, I feel like, has become a lost art in our society, among Christians, not even among out there. In here, it's become a lost art, self-control. If I think it, I got to say it. Nope. That's a lack of self-control. We also have to focus on the end. I will trust you, Lord, with my life. I've got to be able to see the end too. I trust him because I'm focused on the end. I'm going to heaven. He's got all this under control. It's not all going to be great. It's not all going to be a cup of tea. I'm going to have some hard time. I might have some harder times than what I've already had, but I trust him. I trust him. I've got my focus on him. Focus on his word, his will, his ways, his provision. You might have to reminisce on some times he's brought you through. I brought some of my prayer books. I didn't start. When I was a young Christian, we attended a church where the pastor's wife was a very quiet lady who just came into church, and she would speak to everybody, and she would sit down. But as far as a ministry to the women, she didn't have one. And here again, I told you, the pastor's wife's my job. I'm going to speak for myself. My ministry is to my husband. Okay, but I do try to minister to the women in my church. I love the ladies in our church, and I do try to have a friendship and a relationship with them. So I just prayed a prayer list when I first got saved, and for several years I would just pray for the people in our church and my family, but it was more generic. And as the Lord has helped me and let me be around some women that have taught me some things, even some preachers, I began to develop more a system of a book. And I dug out my old books because I wanted to look back at what he's brought me from, things he's done for me, things I forgot. I mean, you think in the moment, those are huge. That's huge that he did that for me. But that was in 2014. I'd forgotten. So I pulled them out. I brought them. They're down in here. Let's see. I year them. So this is 20. That's 19. And so but I didn't start off writing down the blessings or the things he's done for me. I didn't start off like that. And as I've gone from year to year to year, I begin to write down the things he's done for me, so that when I lose my focus, I can go back and go, wow, you brought me through that, and that was much bigger than what I'm facing right now. So I'm putting my focus on you where it belongs. So focus on him. If you're struggling in your devotional life, keeping that daily, or your prayer life, you're going to have a hard time keeping your focus on him. And that's just a matter of self-control. That's just a matter of time management. And I don't do it every day. Y'all know I've been to ladies' meetings where the lady gets up and you're like, man, I'm a failure. I have a hard time with that, dude. I have a hard time with that. I'm like, oh, man, she's the perfect mother. And I yell at my kids. There are 3 of them here today, and they'll tell you I yell. I don't do it all right. They can tell you. They probably got a list somewhere. They can stand up here in a minute and tell you. And my husband could sure tell you. And I've even got some church ladies, old friends, 20 plus years. She could tell you. I don't have it all together. But if we struggle and can't be consistent in our time with the Lord, our focus isn't going to be on Him. So get your focus on Him. Get your time with Him nailed down. Last year at this time, I had to work a little bit outside of the home. I'd always stayed at home, and it was hard. It was hard to have to get up at 5 o'clock to get my time with Him in before I went to work. And I had never experienced that. I've always stayed at home, so I could get up, get the children up, get breakfast going, get school started. If I had to wait until then, it was okay. I didn't always get it in the morning. Sometimes I got in at nap time when I had 5 little ones. I got in at nap time. But I've missed some days. So when I worked, that was really hard. That was eye-opening for me to realize the difficulty there. So I'm not telling you I've had it all down pat, because I surely haven't. And I probably in the last couple weeks have missed a day. When I get to the end of the day, I'm like, what's wrong with me? Yeah. You missed your time this morning. Something else came up and it diverted you. And now look, your focus is messed up. So I'm not going to have joy if I don't have my focus right. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bump that. All right, so what's the opposite maybe of focus? I've already said it one time. So if focus is a helper and that takes discipline, then the opposite is the lack of self-control. That's going to rob our joy. If we can't keep ourselves in check, if we can't keep to train our mind to have it focused on Him, we're going to struggle with our joy. I think in that a lot of times falls our attitude even. I'll be honest, here again, I've got a lot of issues. Attitude is one of those for me. I wear, and I'm not saying this is good, I wear here what's going on here. So if this is not good, that means it's not good here, and you're going to see it on me. I've had to work harder, not about being fake or being a hypocrite, but maybe just a matter of focus. Okay, Rikki, Beth, get it in check. Something happened last night. I was picking up some food for a teen event at our home, and something didn't go right. And I was going, you gotta smile. So I stood there and I smiled. I said, it's okay. And I smiled. It was a little fake. But I had to remind my focus, this is okay. It's going to be okay. A lack of self-control will steal our joy. I want to read this quickly. I thought this was very good. Here's an exercise that might reveal a lot about your joy quotient. Chart out your emotional state for the past few months on a piece of graph paper. So just think, this is September, so let's think June, July, August, September. So think about those months. Label at the bottom depression and at the top euphoria. What would your graph look like? Would it depict peaks of giddiness when all was going well? Would it show deep valleys of sadness when things were not? Why the dramatic mood shifts? Maybe your response to trials and problems was so varied and inconsistent because there were times when you took your eyes off of Jesus, and I've done that. High when things were well, low when things were not. That's not joy. That's happiness. Happiness on circumstances. So focus will help. A lack of self-control will steal or rob your joy. The third one is following. You're following, and that's obedience. And that sounds easy. But at times, we're disobedient Christians. We're disobedient children. Here again, you don't do it all right. I don't do it all right. So at times, we're disobedient. Our obedience will help our joy. Go to John 15. This is a longer passage, which is kind of where I, in myself, wanted to settle down for the lesson, but nope, I didn't. I wasn't able to. The Lord just wasn't going to let me there. So, but I do want to read this because this is crucial for our obedience. John chapter 15, verses 1. I'm going to read 1 to 11. I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, and it may bring forth more fruit. Now you are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine, no more can ye, except you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me you can do nothing. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch, and is withered, and men gather them and cast them into fire, and they are burned. If you abide in me, and my words abide in you, you shall ask what you will, and it shall be done unto you. Herein is my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit. So shall you be my disciples. As the Father hath loved me, so have I loved you. Continue ye in my love. If you keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. These things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. And it's all about our obedience, our abiding in him, our walking with him, our walking in the light that he's given to us. All right, so if we're following, if we're obedient, then we're going to have joy. Does this take a little work? Absolutely. I can think of times right now, I'm not going to share them because they are very private things, but I can think of instances right now where I know I was wrong and the Holy Spirit dealt with me about it. And until I got it right, I was uneasy. I was in turmoil. Can't sleep good, can't think, nothing, because I was disobedient. We're uneasy, we're unsettled, and I had no joy. Until I got back in and got it right and walked in that light, no joy, none. So our ability to follow and to obey is going to help our joy. Psalm 119, 127 says, Therefore I love thy commandments above gold, yea, above fine gold. So I can't check your obedience. I can only check mine. But I will say this, if we want to have joy, we're going to have to obey him, his word, his will. And that'll look different. For some of the things are pretty generic, but some of the things aren't. They're going to be more specific to you individually. All right, so if our ability to follow is a helper, then the opposite of that is the disobedience. And that's going to rob our joy. We're not going to have joy if we are being disobedient. Luke 6:46 says, And why call you me Lord, Lord, and do not the things I say? James 4:17 says, Therefore to him that knoweth to do good, and doeth it not, to him is sin. So if I know to do good and I'm not doing it, I'm in sin, and I am not going to have joy. And I want it. I can tell you. Can you go back now and think of times when you didn't have it? I don't want to live like that anymore. I don't want it to be based on my circumstances, because we know that can change just like that. We have seen that for sure this year. And lastly, I want to talk about this one, fulfillment, our fulfillment, because I gave them all F's. I alliterated it, all right? Faith, focus, following, fulfillment. But that means our contentment. And as women in 2020, I think that's becoming a difficult thing. I think about ads that show up on social media. They cause us to think, oh, I want that. Click that. Oh, let me look. Oh, I want that. I want that. Or other people's posts cause us to have a desire for things maybe we don't have. That can cause us to be discontent. Contentment will help us have joy, because in Philippians 4:11, Paul says this, Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content. We're not going to have joy if we are not content with the things that the Lord has given us right now. Now, I will say this. When we were newly married, and I don't know if it's like this for a lot of people, newly married, and we laugh about this, we didn't have anything, and that did not matter to me. All I wanted to be was to be married to Michael Poindexter, and I didn't care. I did not care. We didn't have anything. I loved him, and I wanted to be married to him. And I was very content. I look back and think, man, we didn't have anything, nothing. If something would have happened emergency-wise with a vehicle or a house, we wouldn't have had money to pay for anything. And then you get a few more things, and the Lord blesses you, and you get a little older, and, and now I look and think, I have more things, but am I content? Am I content? I was very content at 19 and married, very content. Then we started having children, and then you really don't have any money when you start having children. And then those children get older, and they get more expensive. Then they go to college, and you're paying for things, and you really don't have any money. But I look back at the contentment I had when I was 19, and I think, wow, I want to be content with what the Lord has given me. I don't want to sit around and want and desire, or go out and get something that I think is going to bring contentment, and then it doesn't. And then I'm paying for it. A new car. I thought I wanted a car, so let's get it. And then, a year later, you're still paying on it, and you go, ugh. Yeah, I want to learn to be content. I think that is more difficult because of this. I really do. How many of you if you it's kind of creepy on Facebook. You look at something on Safari, and then in Facebook it shows up in your feed, and you're like, But that leads to, oh, I want that. And then tomorrow you see the same ad, and you go, oh, I like that. Oh yeah, I want that. And then you're starting to covet something that's not yours, and that takes away your contentment. Okay, so maybe if you don't want joy, that's okay. I want it. I personally want it. So if that means I've got to get rid of something here that's causing me to envy or to lust, then I'm willing to do that. Matthew 5:29 says, and if that right hand offend thee, if that right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For if it's profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not thy whole body should be cast into hell. If this is offending me, and I know that it's taking my joy, would it be worth to get rid of Facebook or whatever it is? Instagram, they're now doing ads. That wasn't such a big thing a few months ago with Instagram. Now they're doing ads. That's causing me to lose my fulfillment, to not be content. I don't want to be like that. Envying, I read this, envying excites strife. If I'm envious of you and your pretty glasses, that can cause me turmoil, strife. Because I'm looking at going, oh, I like her glasses. I really do like them. I have some in here in my purse somewhere. I really do like your glasses. But that could cause me, oh, wow, I really like her glasses. I would like to get a pair of those. So then I start going on here, and I'm all in a turmoil and tizzy now because I can't find those glasses just like that. And then if you get them, they don't look like that on you. You know, they look good on her and they look good on me. But that can cause strife, not joy, because I'm envious, I'm lusting, I'm coveting something that I can't have. I don't want to get caught up in that. But something else that happens with women in particular is we begin to compare ourselves to each other. And that can take a while. I'm not content with my wardrobe, or this isn't my pocketbook. This is one of my girls. I'm comparing, oh, your pocketbook's cuter, your glasses are cuter, you drive a better car, or you have cuter hair. And we're not content with what God has given to us. And that can take our joy. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to compare myself. This was something I struggled with, especially as a young pastor's wife, looking at the older ladies and watching how they did. And I began to say, oh, well, I need to do like that. Or this is a big thing. Oh, my house has to be perfect when people come over. No, it doesn't. As long as it's clean and, you don't have like food when mine were little, food on the walls and things. No, it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. But that's what we do. Oh, my house has to look like hers, or I have to cook like her and serve. I'm not a presentation person, okay? So if you come eat at my house, you're going to eat out of the pot. We're going to serve it out of the pot off of the stove. I'm not going to have pretty little bowls. It's not going to be all set real pretty. And I'm not talking bad about anybody that does that, but that's not what I'm going to do. But I did think, oh, I got to do that. And if you spend your time comparing yourself, that is miserable. Miserable. The Bible has a verse for that. And I had to put this into memory. 2 Corinthians 10:12 says, for we dare not make ourselves of the number, or compare ourselves with some that commend themselves, but they, measuring themselves by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves, are not wise. It is not wise for me to look at Miss Barger and go, oh, she posts some of the prettiest pictures of her home. And she does. She does. If y'all follow her on Facebook, beautiful kitchen. It's not clean, she said. But here's the thing. She has a beautiful kitchen, and from what I can tell, her kitchen and living room, all that's open. Is it all open? Yeah, okay, that's what I wanted in my home. We didn't get it. We bought an older home, and it had a lot of problems we didn't know about. And we had intentions of taking a wall down and spanning this whole we didn't get it. But if I'm continuously looking at her stuff on Facebook and going, I wish my kitchen was like that. And it's farmhouse stuff, and I love farmhouse stuff. Do you serve out of bowls when people come to your house? Oh, she's not a pot girl. Okay, but here's the thing. That's okay. Oh, but her kitchen is dirty. My kitchen's clean today. It is clean because we're not home. It's clean. But here's the thing. I can look at her stuff, and we're laughing But this is what we do. That's pretty. I like that. Oh, she's got pretty fall decorations. Or oh, I saw that at Hobby. Oh, well, it must be nice. I don't. My kitchen's really small. We've remodeled most of my house except my kitchen, and I have counter space like this much. And there's 7 people in my family. But you know what? I'm content with that. That's what the Lord's given me right now, and I'm okay. So instead of having people over and making excuses, I'm like, this is life. This is real. I don't post pictures of my kitchen in case y'all follow me. I don't. No picture of my kitchen. But I am content with it. I told my husband we bought that house, and it was a lot of mess. We just encountered a lot of mess with that house. Paid for inspections and things, and it just, I laid down like that second night, and I said, Michael Poindexter, I'd sleep with you in a tent outside, and I meant it. And I want to stay like that. I don't want it to be and I am at times a roller coaster, but if I'm not content, I'm not going to have any joy. Okay, so we have got to be content and not lust and envy and covet. Remember, it's a journey. This is a journey. Doesn't end today. I hope it does. Even so, come quickly, Lord Jesus. I would be so fine to go home today. And my journey would be done. But is he going to know when I get there? Whoa, she made it, but boy, she was kicking and screaming. I don't want to go like that. I don't want to go. I want to age gracefully. I want to get sweeter as I get older. I don't want to get sour as I get older. I don't. I really don't. I want to get sweeter. But this is a journey. We can keep it. We can have help. Our faith is strengthened. Our focus, our ability to follow, our obedience, and our fulfillment will help us have joy in the journey, because I think we're going to need help. I need help. I need help keeping it. I might have it now, but I need help keeping it day to day, moment by moment, even maybe at times. So let's pray. I'm done. You were good listeners. Thank you.